All right, so a lot of people asking me what are my settings. I chose under the game category here, field of view, 103. You can go up all the way to 110, but I typically sit in around 103 for a lot of FPSs, so you can play around with that. It's kind of a personal preference. Under the graphics setting here, I went windowed full screen. You could definitely go full screen, but for me, I alt tab a lot, so there's an advantage there. But if you don't alt tab a lot, I would say full screen. Screen resolution is going to be to your monitor. VSync, I always turn it off because it caps your FPS a lot of the time to the refresh rate of your monitor. So if you're running a 144, it's going to be 144 FPS. Now for the resolution sampling type, DLSS is the go-to in my opinion, or off. There's my dog right there. TSR and FSR, honestly, I don't suggest them. It was pretty grainy anytime that I changed them. Even close was a little bit more grainy, but DLSS, if you don't know what it is, it's basically frame generation. It'll give you some more FPS because it's generating frames kind of a little bit, not necessarily VSync, but like FreeSync or G-Sync does, but DLSS is not bad. I quite enjoy it. Now I run a 4090, so I'm averaging probably about 240 FPS in game. For shooters, I always like to try to run the highest FPS that I can, which kind of brings us down to the next spot right here. So it is capped at 240, so that's in and around where I'm sitting. And then when we look at the actual detailed settings, what I recommend for most shooters, not just maybe Arena Breakout, is going to the lowest settings with the exception of one, which is texture quality. So right now you only have high and medium, so there's not too much that you can change. Keep your texture quality high and change everything else to medium. View distance I kept high because I think it's important, but I don't think you're not going to see someone in the map or anything, or like another NPC or another PvP player. I think it's more about like rocks on the ground, those types of things. And then over to post-processing, kind of a personal preference. I heard a lot of people changing their saturation to like 1.1 to 1.25. I put it at 1.17. You could also tailor around with sharpness. Sharpness is kind of like texture quality where it'll sharpen the image. So you can kind of increase that a little bit. Maybe that's the trade-off. Maybe you have a little bit of a lower end GPU. You can kind of go down to medium and then turn up your sharpness level a little bit. You can play around with that. But this is the settings that I use for Arena Breakout on PC.